It's the 72nd Annual NAFB Convention in Kansas City. I'm Brian Winnekins. Thank you to our broadcast sponsors, and they include Annabis Silo of Durand, the Animal Wellness Center of Buffalo Valley, BASF, and Growth Energy. And joining us right now, Tom Buis with Growth Energy. We're going to talk a little bit about the RFS and some of the things going on with that. And Tom, well, thank you for joining us today. Every year we talk here at convention, it seems like it's a broken record. Someone wants to mess with RFS. Normally it's Congress, but now it seems like it's EPA. What gives?
Yeah, well, we've been facing a number of challenges, but there's also a number of opportunities, Brian. And I think this whole process helps us educate people on the values of biofuels. You know, we're clean. We're environmentally, we reduce greenhouse gases by a minimum of 35%. That's not our made-up figures. That's from the federal laboratory in Argonne Laboratory, which is a Department of Transportation entity, a very objective study. You look at the benefits to consumers. We save consumers at the pump. We reduce our dependence on foreign oil. All those facts wouldn't get out without that debate. And so overall, we think it'll be healthy for the industry as we move forward.
You mentioned the environmental impacts. The Saturday before convention, a Burlington Northern Santa Fe train derails in Elma, which is right just south of Durand, right along the Mississippi River. 4 tanker cars get into the river. It's about 18,000 gallons, not of oil, but of ethanol. And there were a lot of folks going, "Oh, it's going to ruin the fishing. I'm like, no, it's all going to just dissipate it. It's not. You know, we don't want to have that happen, but it's not like if it was 18,000 gallons of oil.
Exactly, and it's unfortunate when those rail incidents occur. That's not necessarily our fault. That's the condition of the railroads. But when you do have those type of spills, compare the damage. I mean, they're still cleaning up from the Gulf of Mexico where the blowout protector was probably the biggest ecological and environmental damage our nation has ever seen and hopefully ever sees. There are thousands of oil spills annually, and what that does to the environment and how we benefit the environment is tremendous.
Again, talking with Tom Buis with Growth Energy. So is because we have the lower gas prices, all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, this renewable fuel things, we don't need that. Remember the 70s? We started with ethanol. We didn't need it. Is maybe that the reason why we still need it, because we don't want to make that same mistake again?
Exactly, and we've helped reduce that dependence on oil and helped lower the prices. But if you stop and think about this, oil is still a market that's controlled primarily by OPEC, which is a nation of producers that don't always have our best interests of the United States at heart. They're going to raise prices ultimately. This is a fight over market share between oil-producing countries. Once that fight's over, we'll see high prices again. We have in the past. We've seen this movie. It's deja vu all over again, to quote Yogi Berra. And why we would want to back off now when we're making all this progress makes no sense.
We were talking with Tom Buis with Growth Energy. Tom, along with those lower gas prices, that probably has brought up the debate. On the other side, USDA suddenly Wisconsin's received some grants. I think Minnesota's received some grants to include blender pumps, where it will give a consumer the choice of anything from E85 down to E10, and it will automatically adjust it and adjust the price. That's got to be a positive thing for you.
It's a very positive development. About 5,000 pumps nationwide are going to go in under this program, 21 different states. Then consumers will have the opportunity to choose the blends they want based on price and performance. And what we've seen where blender pumps have gone in, E15 is selling about 5 cents a gallon to 10 cents a gallon less than E10, and E85 even more. We know it can be done on E15. 85% of all the vehicles are approved for E15. And part of this whole fight, and the reason oil is so resistant to the RFS, is to keep us out of the marketplace, keeping consumers from making the choice on what type of fuel they buy.
The interesting thing is I know with folks that are opposed to the RFS, they call it a mandate. And they say it's unfair. and it's reducing consumers' choices. But every time I go to a service station, I see regular unleaded up to 10% ethanol, and I see premium no ethanol. Don't I have a choice of which pump to use?
You do have a choice. And again, the opposition is just making up criticism because of a fight over market share, plain and simple. Biofuels have taken 10% of their market share. They know that if we get higher blends out there, that they'll lose even a greater amount of market share. That's what this fight is all about. We're cleaner, we're greener, we're cheaper, we're better for jobs that can't be outsourced here in the United States. We're better for revitalizing rural communities, farm income, consumer savings.
Well, again, it's going to be an interesting time here now with having to deal with EPA, which is kind of shocking, but hopefully calmer heads will prevail.
I think so, and I think EPA, if they do the right thing, and they have to do it by the end of the month, on setting the volumes for 2014, 15, and 16. If they do the right thing, they'll get back on track to the statutory requirements of the RFS. It's not a mandate that you have to buy those fuels. It's basically a market access issue to keep the monopolistic oil industry from preventing consumers from having a choice.
Tom, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Brian, and congratulations, President of the National Farm Broadcasters.
Thank you very much. That is Tom Buis. He is with Growth Energy from the National Association of Farm Broadcasting Convention.